Baltimore is a village in western County Cork, Ireland. It is the main village in the parish of Rathmore and the Islands, the southernmost parish in Ireland. It is the main ferry port to Sherkin Island, Cape Clear Island and the eastern side of Roaring Water Bay and Carbery's 100 Isles. Although the name Baltimore is an anglicisation of the Irish Baile and Tí Mhóir meaning town of the big house, the Irish language name for Baltimore is that of the O'Driscoll Castle, Dunashad. The recently restored castle is open to the public and overlooks the town. In ancient times, Dunashad was considered a sanctuary for Druids and the place name is associated with Beltane. History. Baltimore enters history as a seat of one of Ireland's most ancient dynasties, the once mighty Cork-Loigd, former kings of Tara and kings of Munster. An English colony was founded here about 1605 by Sir Thomas Crook, 1st Baronet. With the blessing of King James I of England, Crook leased the lands from Sir Finan O'Driscoll, head of the O'Driscoll clan. It was a lucrative centre of the pilchard fisheries, and in the early 1600s a great pirate base, where not only all the justices including the Vice-Admiral of Munster, but the entire population, were involved. All the women of Baltimore were reputed to be either wives or mistresses of pirates. These activities were unaffected by official discouragement under King James, but English piracy generally declined shortly thereafter, partly due to competition from Barbary pirates. In 1607 Baltimore became a market town, with the right to hold a weekly market and 2 annual fairs. Control passed after Crook's death to Sir Walter Coppinger. The town was depopulated in 1631 in the sack of Baltimore, a raid by Barbary pirates from either Algeria or Salé. Reminders of the incident still exist in the form of pub names, like the Algiers Inn. More than 100 villages were sold into slavery, of whom only 2 or 3 ever saw Ireland again. The survivors fled to Skibbereen, and Baltimore for generations was almost deserted. A slow recovery began in the 18th century, and by the early 1800s the village was starting to prosper again, only to suffer further great losses in the Great Famine. It is believed that Napoleon obtained his famous white mare intendant from the area. Baltimore was granted borough status in 1612 with a town government consisting of a sovereign and 12 burgesses. It returned 2 members to the Irish House of Commons 1613 to 1801. Places of interest. One of the most notable landmarks in the area is the Baltimore Beacon, also known as Lot's Wife. Towards the end of July 1847, Commander James Wolfe, R.N., informed the Ballast Board that he had recently completed a survey of Baltimore Harbor and noticed the destruction of the beacon on the eastern point of the southern entrance to the harbor. George Halpin, the board's inspector, was ordered to report the matter, which he did the following month, stating that the original, locally built beacon was too small, poorly built, and had been vandalized. He recommended a large and properly constructed beacon, with which the board concurred. Almost a year passed, the 6th of July 1848, before the board requested the secretary to seek permission from Lord Carbery for a piece of ground 10 yards in diameter, on which to build the beacon. By the end of July a reply had been received from Mr. Arthur Perry Aylmer informing the board that Lady Carbery of Castle Freak near Carbery had given her full permission to either rebuild or reconstruct the existing beacon, and granted free access as the beacon was a matter of such vast importance to fishermen and others. By February 1849 Inspector George Halpin reported that the masonry work of the beacon was complete, but the iron staff and vane still had to be placed on top. The conspicuous conical white painted Baltimore Beacon sometimes called the Pillar of Salt or Lot's Wife, is approximately 50 feet high and 5 yards in diameter at the base. The vent mentioned by Halpin in 1849 was obviously vulnerable and at a later date was replaced by a sphere. Tourism. Baltimore attracts many visitors and the resident population booms in summer months due to the large number of summer homes that have been built in the area in the last 10 years. Baltimore is particularly attractive as a destination to visitors interested in sailing, fishing and exploring the countryside. Baltimore is a great base from which to explore Cape Clear, Sherkin and Loch Hyne. Loch Hyne, Ireland's first marine nature reserve, is only 5 kilometers from town. Baltimore also has become a very popular venue for scuba diving, due largely to the number and variety of shipwrecks in the bay. These include a Second World War submarine, the bulk carrier Kowloon Bridge and the Alondra from 1916. There is a wide range of accommodation available in Baltimore hotels, Casey's of Baltimore Hotel, Waterfront Hotel and a host of bed and breakfasts such as Channel View, the Fastnet, the Old Post House, the Slipway, the Algiers Inn, Bush's Bar, Rolf's Hostel, Self-Catering as well as many others. Sport. The local GAA club is Ullin Rovers, which was formed in 1973 and consists of the surrounding parish and that of Lisheen and Kilcoe. They compete in the Cork County Senior Football Championship and appeared in the senior final in 2007, losing to Nemo Rangers. The local soccer team Baltimore FC, also known as the Crabs, were established in 2006. They won Division Two in 2010 and are currently a Division One side in the West Cork League and are going from strength to strength. Sailing is also a very popular activity in Baltimore. Courses are held in the summer months for both adults and children. Transport. Ferries sail from Baltimore to Shull, further along the coast to Sherkin Island, and to the more remote Cape Clear Island. Nearest airport, Cork Airport. Baltimore Railway Station on the West Cork Railway opened on the 2nd of May 1893, but finally closed on the 1st of April 1961. Baltimore is located on the R595 road, leading to the N71 road for Cork, roughly 100 kilometers from the village. The closest town to Baltimore is Skibbereen, 13.4 kilometers northeast of the village. Bus services to Skibbereen and Cork are provided by Bus Éireann.